Hey there, now we are finally live. Oops. Anyway, so the whole thing about today will be how to rig swim baits like this savage here for the roach for European catfish, or also called Wels catfish, which Wels is literally just a German word for catfish. So every catfish is a Wels, which is why I'm not a fan of that name, but yeah. The thing is, you have to do quite some rigging. How these come out of the box, they're not good bait. They're not great for your team catfish. They're a way too thin cable leader, and yeah, it just doesn't work well. But I had a pretty good system that worked very well using U-float and Kevlar or braided leader, and then two treble hooks that are with a specific kind of a no-knock snell I attach, and then use spikes and either one of these things that come with the swim baits or my own version that I built myself to anchor them in this line through system. The problem is my biggest catfish, this is 500-pound Kevlar, 2 millimeter Kevlar, and it was frayed halfway through after like a 5 minute fight with a good size but not a monstrous catfish. So, which not only means you run the risk of losing a big fish, but also you have to redo all of this after maybe one catfish. So that kind of sucks. Hey John, what's up, bro? So uh, yeah, that's why. And to make the connection hold a bit better, I created these kind of hooks, like a cut-off hook that I anchor in the swim bait, which works well. And my idea is, which I'm gonna do some drawing now to show you guys, and also have something to work off. Yeah, this now is anchored properly. This will come out, but only under proper tension. Is to use a very heavy gauge hook and attach a solid ring and then a split ring to it with some epoxy and then just crimp on some heavier coated cable on this hook. And that also means you can also use these baits exactly how they are for fishing in like for high speed trolling for wahoo if you wanted to, or even mako sharks. So for makos, I would go a bit heavier on the cable, but it would be the same system and the same little part that I'm going to be building. The green one is just like it's the same. No, it's not new, but it hasn't caught any fish yet. That's the difference. It hasn't caught any fish yet. Well, this one has caught some catfish, and including the biggest one I ever caught. So it's a little more messed up. But yeah. Anyway, anyway. So we're gonna have this one laying here, and this one right here is would be fully ready to go. By the way, this is like a 55-gram U float, and yeah, 55-gram U float. And this one we just, oh, we're gonna have someone join us on the other live. Yes, sir. Hey there. Oh, and I need to turn off this music. Hey there, Captain. What's up? Good to see you, man. Let me try and push you maybe over here. So yeah. You have anything you wanna start out with? Do you have anything you want to start out with? Ah, nice. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be redesigning the whole leader idea and system for these swim baits that I use like live baits in heavy current and have taught my PB catfish on this very bait actually. 6 foot. si- I don't know. I buy these, but they're made for pike fishing, and the whole rigging system. I had to do a lot of redesigning to make it work for some serious heavier fish. And it's also made for trolling or heavy casting and not to use with youth float in heavy currents. So this is, let me rig this one up the way it would be in the water. This is, and this is a system right now I have on how I came up with it in 2020, I believe, or even before that. Actually, before that, in 2019, I think. I came up with this system, and it has worked good, but I definitely noticed some issues with it. For one, this is 500-pound Kevlar, and even though it's 500-pound Kevlar, I had it shaved through halfway by my PB catfish, which wasn't that gigantic. So this is how the hooks are hanging off of this, and this is line through. So once the fish takes off, this bait will slide up the leader, so it doesn't have the weight of the bait to throw the hooks. So once the fish, yeah, so this size is about $30. It's not cheap, but it's not that bad. Could be worse. Well, you can also pay a lot more in certain shops, but if you look around, you can find some good deals. And so yeah, what I want to have is two three hanging travel hooks. One that would be around the anal fin and one here as a chest or belly. And if a fish bites, this is what's going to happen. The bait can slide up and the hooks are going to be away. That way it doesn't have that, it's not like a fixed bait where, a lot of stuff can happen and a lot of momentum can be created on head shakes and stuff. This is not going to be an issue here. But if 500-pound Kevlar can get cut halfway through by a catfish who's got dull teeth, I don't want to, on a short fight, I don't want to imagine what can happen for one if the fight on a much bigger catfish happens, or what happens if you go like trolling offshore with those. Because I can imagine these would also do great for some, or they also come in different varieties and stuff for some wahoo or even mako trolling and stuff like that. But they obviously, this leader isn't going to hold up. So I've got some thoughts and ideas on how I'm going to redesign all of this. Like the original design from the manufacturer is just a itty bitty piece of metal here that's supposed to hold the hook in, and then the second hook is just put in somehow on the back. And this little metal thingy is supposed to hold everything, and they attach like a 40-pound, 40 to 50-pound cable on this. That's not going to hold up against too many monster fish, as you know. No, no, no. The way when you buy it, it already comes pre-rigged, but it comes pre-rigged with some thin wire trebles that will bend immediately on a proper fish, and it comes with, well, it's designed for pike fishing, and for pike, I'd say it's all right the way it comes, but I'm not trying to catch pike. I'm trying to catch fish bigger than myself, and I already have. So with some thin wire trebles and a little piece of metal that's, I don't know how much it holds. It has to take the entire force, and a 40, 50 pound coated cable that is crimped in a way that looks a bit odd. I'm not trusting the fish of my life to that. That's for sure. I know very few people who do. This is like a, but the thing is, in a lot of European countries, especially Germany, but a lot more, live bait is outlawed by federal law. So federal law forbids the use of live bait. The problem is most times, especially the big catfish, will not take anything other than live bait. But we have federal law making it a proper crime, not just like, a minor offense, but no, you can be fined a few thousand euros, or you could technically, I don't know of any case where it has happened, but technically they could even send you to prison for it. So yeah, no worries. But yeah, this is how I used to do it, which is a lot of work, but it works great. But yes, and the hooks can freely move. They're not disturbed at all. And this line has not one knot in it. There's 0 knots in it. I have 4 connections in this line, and not one is a knot. And only one of them is a splice. Okay, let me try to fix that. Yeah, let's see if this will work. Hmm. But anyway, all of this setup here, even though it works, I'm basically gonna trash all of this. So you don't have to understand the whole thing anyway, because this is how I used to do it. And well, if you would wanted to use braid, I would probably use some 300-pound hollow core nowadays. But I stopped. I think the braid is kind of obsolete at this point. Are you understanding what correctly? That I what? Sorry, the audio is really quiet now. Hmm. Weird. Something is There's something isn't as it should be. Yeah. Sorry, let me try to read. Now I hear you better. Okay. I cannot see you at. Yeah. How is the audio now? Yeah. I'll just get some stuff ready. And hey, John. Yeah, I cannot see you right now. Okay. Okay, now you're back. Okay. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Me neither. But I think the audio is better now, right? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll try to speak loud, but I don't know. I don't think there's too much I can do, unfortunately, on my end to up the volume, basically. But yeah. Yeah. I do where it is legal. Where it is legal. That is an important part. There are some European countries like France and Italy and Spain, I think, although I heard about a law coming into effect this year or next year that might change things, but so far there are still a few European countries, especially some of the really good catfish countries, that still allow the use of live bait fish. But a lot of like the mid-European countries like Germany, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Austria, most of Scandinavia at least, and so on, they have already outlawed live baits a long time ago. So there you only have the option of dead bait, which works a lot worse for our catfish. I know it's, which is funny because from what I hear in the US, there's quite a few people who actually prefer cut bait. Here, it's like it's not even a comparison how much better live baits work, but it's not legal. So You have to find ways around it. And like, I would rather use night crawlers than dead bait. I really would rather use night crawlers for giant catfish than I would dead bait fish. But I would much rather use a live bait. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I am totally lost on that, to be honest. Yeah. Really, the very first. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Ruth. Yeah. Alright. Well, you too. See ya. Bye. Okay, now it's just me again. So yeah, it's all about how we're gonna rig these baits in the future for some monster catfish. Because in my opinion, this is the future of catching European catfish. I really believe baits like this and some other stuff that I'm working on will be the future of catching catfish in Europe. Yes, I mean all of Europe. At least the countries that outlaw live baits. Or have outlawed live baits. Anyway, right now what I'm doing is drawing up a little system on how on how I would do these rigs. But yeah. The old system right here basically means we're gonna have one line, a braid coming through, connecting to what holds this hook on the base, the treble hook, and then it's also tied, well, it's snells with a no-knot snell. There's no knots in this entire system, even though we have 4 connections. And again, in a way, it's tied to this back hook. But I want a system with where we're not going to use braid, but we're going to use cable. The problem is with cable, we can't do any of these snell connections because cable is too stiff. So that is not going to work. That's just flat out not going to work. Which is why what I'm kind of drawing up here. And now the new version. I'm gonna make my little the skissation. And you'll hopefully understand. You'll definitely understand once I'm actually building it, but also for myself while I build it, I want to have something to look at. Basically, all the connective parts on the new versions will be a lot more beefy because they are a lot stronger at least. If they're beefier or not, we'll have to see, but they have to be a lot stronger because unlike in the old version, now they're actually gonna be what's gonna hold our fish. While in the past it was the whole leader that would hold it. Now that's no longer gonna be the case. Now what's gonna give the thing that's gonna have to hold is actually the lure, or the, well, you know what I'm trying to say. And actually there's multiple ways I could do it. I don't know which way. Nah, that one will kink the... Yeah. This way is better. I think. I'll have to see about this one. Yeah. That's how I'll do it, I think. Well, we'll have to see about this one, actually. But basically, the difference will be, one will be all cable, coated cable, and the old one was Kevlar or braid. And the new one will utilize 2 pieces of leader instead of just 1. But yeah, basically the part that holds our bait in, on this one we will fix the line to that part, but that means it has to be a lot stronger, and especially the connection to the hook has to be a lot stronger. And then we have to figure out how we best do this little stinger to the second hook. If we're gonna just crimp a piece of cable from one hook to the other, or if you maybe gonna attach a solid ring and a split ring. Not sure yet how to do this properly, but we'll figure it out. We'll definitely figure it out. But the first part we need to design today is this one right here. We're gonna start with just a hook. And I already know what hook I'm gonna use. The BKK Puka live bait hook, because it's a very heavy gauge hook. Onto and basically I'm just gonna cut off part of the hook and then attach a solid ring or split ring to it, and I might use a crimp somewhere in there as well. But the difference is this connection here needs to hold. It needs to hold a fish of a lifetime. So we're just gonna cut off part of this hook and crimp on, or tie and crimp and glue something on there. That's gonna be interesting, but we'll get it figured out. Now the fun part starts. We've got a drawing and our two already done baits. Now we gotta find all the crap in my fishing room that we actually gotta use. Here are some of the hooks you might be using. Good stuff. Honestly, these could just be the perfect size, if I'm being honest. I'll just have to cut one up and see. And I trust that these aren't gonna open. These are 2.0, but they're like seriously heavy gauge. Plus, yeah, I'm not gonna bend these open. Not with this stuff. And I'm gonna compare them to the hooks that I'm already using. Well, they could honestly be even heavier gauge, but we'll see. We'll just cut one up. These are Haku, a lighter wire. The reason I want ultra heavy gauge wire here, also for the size of hooks, is because that is something that also aids in strength. That makes the hook a lot stronger if it's strong for its size. Like if it's thick gauge for its size, that makes it a lot harder to straighten as the same gauge wire. Like if you take the same gauge wire, then a smaller hook will actually be stronger, which is important in my case because I'm limited to the gauge wire that we can use. Because this opening where we're gonna put the hook in, this right here, it's limited on how thick of a wire it can accommodate. So yeah, that is why we do have to be a little bit careful that we get a hook that is strong enough that, because unlike how I used to do it, in this case, this hook will actually have to hold the monster fish. So yeah, let's just see. I mean, just for fun, we could also try one of these owner hooks. This is supposed to hold 200 kilos. And actually, like, the way I'm using it, the hooks will hold more than they would use normally. Like we would normally use a hook. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not really worried of any hook straightening, but I still want to go heavy, use as strong of a hook as I can, just to be on the safe side, you know. But realistically, almost any hook should be strong enough. Just, if I'm doing it, I want to do it properly, you know. Because this is going to be plenty of work to do. As it is, this will already be a lot of work, so why make it any harder than it already is? Puka 3-0. 3-0. Yes, nah, that is. I'm liking the 3-0. I'm liking the 3-0. Okay. Now I think if the 3-0 works, I think that'll be the right size, honestly. I mean, I think I have them even bigger, but I don't think bigger will be better in this case. I honestly don't think we need anything bigger. So let's just see. If I can find my bolt cutters, that is. Where are my bolt cutters? They could also still be in my rock tube, thinking about it. And I can also try using these pliers to cut one up, but I don't know. I'll give it a try. But honestly, I'm doubting if these pliers will be strong enough. Okay, that was actually easy. Easy as hell. Okay. We've got it cut up and yo. The question is if it would be a bigger hook better. Nope, I think this is a perfect size. Yep, this is a perfect size. I think this is perfect. Maybe we could even go one size bigger, a 4-0, and file the tip down a little bit. But honestly, this is, yeah, either 4-0 files down a tiny bit or it's 3-0. Because this is a good tight fit. But yeah, we could also go one size up, I think. So I'll have a quick look if I can find some one size bigger, but so far I'm liking it. Talking about that, I don't even know if I don't know if I ever had them one size bigger, to be honest, but probably, but I'm not 100% sure. Monster circle, no. But hey, now I know BKK Puka 4-0 is the hook I want for this in the future. So the Puka in 4-0, that'll be my go-to. for this bite. I'm gonna need bigger hooks for other sizes. Yeah, these are the puka in size 1. Let's see. These are the 5-0 monster circle. Okay, I'm gonna let my intrusive force win and just cut one of those monster circles in 5-0, which is the smallest size they come in, up and see if that might work. Okay. Kinda. I mean, but the shape isn't ideal for this. But it would work, yeah, so 5-0 still works. Okay. EKK 4 and 5-0 puka is what we really want to be using for this. Yeah. Well, let's go back to our 3-0 puka. Here. Just that one wall. But we can definitely go bigger. We can go bigger than this. That's the good news. Yeah, honestly, hmm. let's see. Well, first of all, we can put the 2-0 hookahs away, I think. Because we've established that 3-0 works just fine, and honestly I'm thinking that it might be a bit small, on the small side still. I'm gonna try to get my hands on 5-0, 4 and 5-0. If I can find one good solid ring that I trust this kind of weight on. Here's an 8-0 hook that I think could maybe be hold enough. Here's some 5-0. Some 5-0 owner. Problem is the owner hooks, they rust way easier in the DJ case. That's why I'm not. But I don't really want to use them for this. Anyway. I basically already know that there isn't gonna be a solid ring. Unless I cut one of those, this ball bearing swivel here. I could cut this one up for a solid ring. I mean, I could also go medieval, but the whole idea is to minimize metal. So that's no good. I have a solid ring that I could definitely use, but yeah, it's way for overkill. I just use this solid ring, this ball bearing swivel here. I mean, it's still fine. It would do fine for European catfish. But then again, I don't want to have such a big swivel here. Or, wait, I have some worse quality. These swivels somewhere, I think, where I could maybe cut them up. If I find those. Now I'm just gonna cut this one up. It's definitely seen better days. Let's see. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'll definitely try and order some of those hooks and some heavy duty solid rings off Amazon next opportunity, or somewhere online. Next opportunity that I get. Nice. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this swivel up. What's the point? I've got better swivels anyway. Alright, let's see. Let's see. If we're gonna do this, I'm gonna spend a few more minutes looking if I can find the hook I really wanna be using. That's more for the puka, but the wrong size. Right hook, wrong size. Right hook, wrong size. can't find it now, then we're not gonna find it. But honestly, I don't know. Ha! 5-0 Puka. There we go. There we MFing go. Now I can also find the 4-0, so I can decide which if I want to go that big or a little smaller. That would be great. And the reason I really want this specific hook, by the way, is just because it's very strong for its size and it has BKK, the ultra anti-rust finish. Basically, it's hooks from a different brand. I'm a lot more likely to rust. Okay, I do have other heavy-duty hooks, but they're more likely to get rust issues. That is why I want this specific hook, and not another one. Not because, like, not yeah. It is a very strong hook. There's other good, strong, sharp hooks. Sharpness doesn't matter at all in this case, and rust resistance matters, especially because we are gonna cutting this hook. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna find the 4-0, but hey, I found the 5-0. So let's just take this 5-0, cut it, and let's see. Sorry, that's the Haku 5-0. That's the wrong hook model. This is a 5-0 Puka. And let me refresh my chat just in case I've missed anything. Doesn't look like it. Slow live stream today. Slow live. But oh well, that's fine, I guess. This is a bit too thick, if we're being honest. I can still probably use it on some of the smaller, on some of the bigger baits, but yeah, the 4-0 really is the size to go with. So I'll keep looking. Yeah, 1-0, we don't need 1-0. Then again, I could of course take that 5-0 and stand it down to make it fit, but yeah, the 4-0 will really be the way to go. I can already tell you that. The 4-0 Puka. Interesting. But it's that specific. But it's crystal clear to me, at least. Knowing this, I've worked with these swim baits for years. Since 2019, I've been doing this kind of stuff. Just now I'm changing my style a little bit in a way where I'm gonna need the hook to also be very strong. Yep, that's not it. That's not it. Let's just see. There, 5-0 monster circles. Not right now, we need right now. I know I had the 4-0 Puka first at some point. I probably still do. Just if I'm gonna find them, that's a different story. Yeah, nah. Not in here. Yeah. Probably they fell out of their package at some point and have gotten lost somehow. And now I haven't used them all up, but oh boy. Anyway. Now we're just gonna do this anyway now. Unless I find them in here on the bottom loose somehow. What happened? You never know. Now that I think they must be somewhere loose. Loosey goosey. That's not looking very promising. I'm soon gonna give up on finding these hooks. Knowing what would be the perfect hook, it kind of makes it difficult, for me at least, to use something else. That is the problem of being perfectionist. If you know what would be perfect, then you don't really want to use anything other than that. Oh well. hooks are going to be in here. Here now, no hooks in this one. Goddamn perfection. Because I know it would be way more productive if I just would stop looking. I know that. I know it would be way better if I could just stop and get going. You know? But oh well. Alright. Alright.
see. Okay, now we have our solid ring. That's gonna get attached to this hook. Just gonna secure this with, well, let's start off with a tiny bit of, let's get some thread ready to wrap it on, and then we're gonna just maybe put a drop of super glue, and let's see what else. Right, we're gonna definitely finish it up with some 90-minute epoxy. Actually, I'll probably start. Yeah, it's gonna be best if I already start the 90-minute epoxy now. That way, it has time to already, it can mix and start to cure, and it'll probably properly cured once I'm ready to use it. But yeah, that 90-minute epoxy, that takes some time. So, and of course now I'm not gonna find anything. Follow. Someone help clean or sort the room out here. The disadvantage is now I have no clue where stuff is. But I do need the epoxy to make this happen. I do really need the epoxy. I'll be in my other room for 1 second, just looking for the epoxy. Let me first have a look into it. Okay, nope. No, not here either. Not looking good, not looking technical. Okay. I need to to find the damn epoxy. I can't finish this thing without my epoxy. I mean, honestly, I don't want to. I'm gonna have to stop and keep going another time, but I might have to if I can't find my damn epoxy. I've already been rambling and searching for stuff, so for too damn long on this live stream. Now even my epoxy is nowhere to be found, then I don't know what to do. And that seems to be exactly what's happening right now. So. Yeah, fun time. And honestly, I also like to be in a positive mood, and right now I'm not. So I think I'll just end it right here. I'm gonna try and order the hooks that I really want to use. I'm gonna get me some epoxy and some solid rings. Yeah, then we're just gonna start fresh sometime soon. So see you guys soon and have a nice one. Bye bye.